And take a good look at your screens, folks. This is the live Doppler 13 radar tonight, and we're tracking the impact of rain across central Indiana.
It has been rainy most of the day today across central Indiana. We've even seen some storm warnings issued, and because of that, that's why we're all in mourning. We are dressing for the weather today, wouldn't you say, Felicia?
Yeah, accidental dress in black, but it kind of goes.
That's how we feel.
Yeah, when you look outside, that's what it feels like. It's been a wet, icky day, Angela.
It has, and we've had several severe thunderstorm warnings. National Weather Service has gotten special weather statements for now on the cluster of storms just south of Indianapolis. I'll give you a close-up view, and I'm going to turn the lightning on, but I'm going to eventually turn it off because we have so many strikes, it's hard to see. Just want you to be aware that these storms do have a history of some strong wind gusts, 55 miles per hour, and some hail. These are moving into Columbus right now. This complex extends north into Franklin and Greenwood. Give you a closer look and then show you where it's going to go next. Heads up Shelbyville and Hope. These storms are moving very quickly off to the east and will impact parts of Bartholomew and Decatur counties within the next 20 to 30 minutes. As we go north, we track this line of storms. Rain has been heavy at times over downtown. That's now on the east side of Marion County, continuing to move east. Rain and some thunderstorms possible for the next hour, hour and a half or so. And then we're just in the clouds tomorrow with high temperatures near 50.
All right, thanks so much, Angela. And don't forget, you can track the rain if you have the live Doppler 13 weather app on your phone.
And it has the interactive radar after you download it. Redistricting and a special session are the hot topics at the Indiana Statehouse right now.
Lawmakers spent the day there ahead of the next legislative session, and so did our Emily Longnecker.
Emily, could we still see lawmakers vote on redistricting?
Well, Ann and Felicia, certainly if Governor Mike Braun has anything to say about it, and Republican House Speaker Todd Houston also saying today that House Republicans still support redistricting and are ready to vote on it. In fact, he told his members to keep the first 2 weeks of December open to do that. And just a few minutes ago, we got this calendar from the House, which shows the first 2 weeks blocked off for potential special session there in those first 2 weeks of December. Remember, it was both the House and Senate who had announced a while ago that lawmakers were blocking off the first 2 weeks of December to take up redistricting. And then, of course, that all changed last week when Senate President Pro Tem Rod Bray said his caucus did not have the votes to support redistricting and would not be taking it up. The vote in the Senate today supporting that position. Senators voted today 29-19 to not come back into session into this building until January 5th. And Senator Bray said that that was an indication that the votes still were not there to support redistricting. He said that Senate Republicans, his caucus, they support Republicans retaining control of the U.S. House in the 2026 midterms, but he said they just didn't think redistricting was the way to do that. Take a listen.
A number of members of our caucus, at least, I'm included in that number, don't feel like it's the right way to move forward, simply because it's not the right way to get that goal achieved. We would rather take a look at Congressional District 1. It is a district that's been trending red over the last several years. And in fact, we have a senator now in Lake County that there may have been one other Republican senator there in the last 100 years, and now we have that, the Republicans hold that seat. So evidence that it's really trending red. And if we had a candidate that we could all get behind and be supportive of, we think that we could turn that seat.
So if the Senate's vote today is any indication, it would appear that the Senate, that chamber, is not going to take up redistricting. But House Speaker Todd Houston said today, when he was asked, bottom line, is redistricting dead? He said no, that House Republicans stand ready to move on it. Governor Braun also issued a statement after today's vote and said he's exploring all options at his disposal to compel the state Senate to show up and vote. He also said that he would support President Trump's efforts to recruit, endorse, and finance any challengers that want to challenge some of these state senators in primaries, any state senators who do not vote to support what he called fair maps. And as sometimes these things happen, somebody says one thing, someone else issues a statement in response to that. Senator Bray then issued a statement responding to the governor saying, quote, Senate Republicans may have a difference of opinion on a policy matter with the governor, and that happens from time to time, but we are committed to pursuing policies that will make life better for Hoosiers, and we will continue to look for ways to collaborate with the governor. So I think it is safe to say, if reading the tea leaves and looking at what happened today and what the governor is saying, the House Speaker is saying, what that calendar is saying, it looks like that this is not a done issue. And Felicia?
All right, Emily Longnecker joining us live with the very latest from the State House tonight. Also, we want to let you know that there's a lot going on and it's hard to sort out. So we created a special episode of Crossroad Politics for you to do just that. And it's over on our streaming service, WTHR Plus.
Yeah, and it kind of chronicles the journey it took to get us to this point. Dustin Groves breaking down the redistricting debate between President Trump and state lawmakers. You can catch it streaming in 2 hours at 7 o'clock.
Also developing tonight, a new report is now revealing what happened during that deadly crash that involved 4 Indiana National Guardsmen along the interstate last Friday. The Boone County Sheriff's Office says the actual cause of the accident is still under investigation. However, Indiana Senator Jim Banks is speaking out, claiming an illegal immigrant caused the crash, posting on X, quote, Indiana National Guardsman Terry Fry should still be alive. His life was cut short on I-65 by an illegal who never should have been here in the first place. That's a quote. Now the family of Guardsman Terry Fry is accusing the senator of posting that and in effect, weaponizing the death. The family issued a statement today saying, quote, Terry's death is not a political prop. He was a son, a father, a soldier, and deeply loved member of our family long before he was a headline. Turning the worst moment of our lives into a talking point for any political agenda is inappropriate and hurtful. We are grieving a real person, not a campaign issue. Terry deserves the dignity of being remembered for the man he was, not as leverage in anyone's political messaging. The crash report reveals that the driver of that dark blue Dodge Ram, which had a trailer attached, had to change lanes abruptly along I-65 just after noon this last Friday. Investigators say the Humvee then went into the grassy median when that Dodge swerved. The driver of the Humvee then lost control trying to get back on the road, hitting a white Subaru Crosstrek. Immigration and Customs Enforcement later told the sheriff there was a hold on the truck driver.
Tonight at 5, new insight into the decision to charge a homeowner with voluntary manslaughter after he allegedly shot a cleaning crew worker who showed up at the wrong house.
This is a story that made national and international headlines, and it has a lot of people asking why the prosecutor made the decision that he did. It broke yesterday. Ella Rhodes today spoke with an expert. She joins us live from Whitestown to explain what she learned. Ella.
Anne Marie and Felicia, we are just steps away from the home where this shooting happened. Now, we know this is homeowner here, Kurt Anderson, who allegedly shot and killed Maria Florinda Rios Perez just a few weeks ago, is now having to face a count of voluntary manslaughter. That's a level 2 felony. I want you to take a look at the video on your screen. That is from the original day. This all happened on November 5th. Court documents detail the exact moment when Anderson shot through the front door of his home, telling police he thought someone was breaking into his home and panicked. In total, it only took about a minute between the time Anderson said he heard noise outside to shooting his gun through the front door. Since that charging decision, we've seen and heard a lot of questions about why the prosecutor went with a voluntary manslaughter charge. So we spoke to IU law professor Jody Madera to get some context.
Charging recklessness would be undercharging. Charging first-degree murder would be overcharging. And so likely the jury will see this as a fear-driven overreaction and not calculated malice. And so voluntary manslaughter is a really good charge.
Madera says she expects a very expeditious proceeding. Anderson is still being held in jail without bond. His first court appearance is set for Friday. Now, we did speak with neighbors in this area. They've said that this is a pretty quiet and safe neighborhood. They did tell us, though, that they didn't want to go on camera and share this, but they were happy to see that the Boone County prosecutor filed charges. Anne Marie and Felicia.
All right, Ella reporting live for us tonight from Boone County. Thanks so much.
Also tonight, the Marion County prosecutor is deciding the charges two Indianapolis parents could face in the death of a toddler. 1-year-old Angel Rosales Alvarado died Monday morning. Metro Police say he appeared to be, quote, severely malnourished and underweight. Officers say they searched the parents' home and seized several items of interest. Officers arrested his parents on a preliminary charge of neglect and of a dependent, resulting in death.
A local ER doctor used to treating other people's injuries got critically injured himself after a hit-and-run crash on the south side in Johnson County.
Jenny Runovich talked with family and shares the vehicle police hope that you'll recognize.
Well, the crash happened here along Saddle Club Road last week. David Dwyer had just walked across the street to get the mail when a minivan, police say, hit him and took off. And what's worse, family believes the driver knew what happened and took off anyway.
The 64-year-old father, grandfather, and emergency room physician is now a hospital patient himself with a broken spine, ruptured spleen, ruptured liver, and more. Those serious injuries from the hit and run here Monday the 10th around 8 p.m. Family says he had a flashlight and was in the grass when a minivan went off the street and into him. Bargersville police say the gray Chrysler or Dodge minivan, similar to this one, is now missing a side mirror. And Dwyer told his family after the crash, the minivan's driver stopped, opened the door, looked back as Dwyer screamed, then drove away.
I don't know if I would be able to wake up the next morning and not just feel nauseous for the rest of my life, knowing that I've done that to someone. How do you hear someone screaming and pleading for help and leave them in the dark, not knowing if anyone's coming to help?
If you recognize that minivan can help investigators, call Bargersville Police. In Bargersville, Jenny Runovich, 13 News.